Hey there! Whether you're a really dedicated cat parent or a vet student just starting out, this guide is for you. We're going to break down a condition called Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, or EPI for short, in a way that's super clear and hopefully really helpful. So let's just start with a scene that might feel a little too familiar. You're looking at your cat and you realize they're getting thinner. But the weird thing is, they're eating just fine, maybe even more than usual. It's confusing, right? And it's definitely worrying. Well, this is one of the biggest clues that could point to a condition called EPI. And the good news is it's totally manageable. So let's dive in and talk about what it is, what to look for, and why there's so much hope for these kitties. All right, so first things first, what in the world is exocrine pancreatic insufficiency? When you boil it all down, EPI is all about digestion. It just means your cat's pancreas isn't making enough of these special little proteins called enzymes. And those enzymes have a huge job. They break down food so the body can absorb all the good stuff. Without enough of them, all that food your cat is eating just passes right through without delivering any nutrition. You know, a really easy way to think about the pancreas is like a little factory with two separate departments. You've got the endocrine side, and its job is to make hormones, like insulin, to handle blood sugar. Then you have the exocrine side, and that's the department that makes all those digestive enzymes we were just talking about. Now, with EPI, the insulin side is usually humming along just fine. It's the enzyme-making side of the factory that's having trouble. And here's the really tricky part. The pancreas has this huge backup capacity. It's a real workhorse. This means you won't see any signs of a problem, none at all, until more than 90% of its ability to make enzymes is already gone. So, by the time your cat actually seems sick, the problem has been brewing for a while. Okay, so you might be wondering, well, who gets this and why? And I want to be really clear about something. This is almost never something an owner could have prevented. It's not about the food you chose or something you did wrong. It's an internal thing. The number one cause in cats, by a long shot, is something called chronic pancreatitis. That's just a fancy term for long-term inflammation that, over time, damages those enzyme-making cells. And what's so important to know is that EPI really doesn't play favorites. There's no specific breed that's more at risk, and it can show up at any age, from a tiny 3-month-old kitten all the way up to a senior cat. Now for the part where you become the most important detective. Nobody knows your cat's daily habits and little quirks better than you do, so what you notice at home is absolutely critical. If you take away just one single thing from this entire talk, please let it be this number. 91%. That is how many cats with EPI have weight loss. It is, without a doubt, the most common and most important sign. Even if it's the only thing you see, it's enough to say, okay, time for a vet visit. So after that big one, weight loss, what else? Well, about 62% of cats will have loose, unformed poop, and often a lot of it. And about half of them will get a dull, kind of greasy-looking coat. That's because they can't absorb the fats they need for healthy skin and fur. Other signs can be a little all over the place. Some cats are suddenly starving all the time, others lose their appetite. Some might be tired, and a few might even vomit. And this quote from the veterinary literature just says it all. We have to suspect EPI in any cat with unexplained weight loss, even if none of those other classic signs are there. For cats, weight loss alone is a massive red flag. Okay, so you've noticed something's off, and you've made that vet appointment. Awesome. So what happens now? Let's walk through how we get to an answer, because it's actually a really clear and logical process. The path to a diagnosis actually starts with you. Your story about what's been going on at home is step one. We combine that with a good, thorough physical exam. Step two is usually some general blood work, just to check on overall health and rule out other common things that cause weight loss. And then, if we're still suspicious, we move to the final step. The specific test for EPI. And that specific test is called the fTLI. Now, that's a mouthful, feline trypsin-like immunoreactivity, but don't let the name intimidate you. It's the absolute gold standard for diagnosing EPI, and all it is a simple blood test. It measures something that only the pancreas makes. If that level is super low, we have our answer. The only thing you need to do to prepare is make sure your cat doesn't eat for about 8 to 12 hours before the blood draw. Okay, so let's say the test comes back positive. You have a diagnosis. This is where the story takes a really positive turn. I want you to hear this. While EPI isn't curable, it is so manageable. This is all about the path back to a happy, healthy cat. The treatment plan is surprisingly simple, and it works incredibly well. It's really a three-part approach. First, we have to give back the enzymes the pancreas isn't making. This is usually a powder that you just mix into every single meal. Second, we have to fix their vitamin B12 levels. Nearly every cat with EPI is deficient, so they need B12 supplements, often as an injection. This part is absolutely key to getting them better. And finally, switching to a high-quality, easily digestible, low-fiber food can really help the whole process. And this right here is the message of hope. This is the big takeaway. This is not a death sentence. With the right care, these cats usually bounce back fast. They start gaining weight, their digestion gets back to normal, and they can absolutely go on to live a full, happy, normal life. So the bottom line is this: never, ever ignore it when your cat is losing weight for no obvious reason. It is the most important clue you have. And if it does turn out to be EPI, please know that with some pretty straightforward treatment, the outlook for your little buddy is really, really good. Remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional veterinary advice. If you have any concerns about your pet's health, please consult with your certified veterinarian. They are your best resource for ensuring your companion lives a long, happy, and healthy life.